The Real Monica Adams Show is brought to you by Exist Stretch. Stop by for your free consultation and 30-minute introductory stretch today.
Right. Woohoo! All right, first of all, let me congratulate Zach Kimball, our director. That, as you can see, is a brand new look to the show, and he even has a little voiceover in that. Zach's been working very hard on everything fresh as we kicked off April 1st. We're springing into this new season and springing into a new look. And yes, we want to welcome on. That is our big news that we have been teasing for a while now. Congratulations, first of all, Zach, to a wonderful job. Can you all just type in there how great he did? And let me welcome on our official title sponsor, Exist Stretch. That was the big news that we wanted to tell you about. We were just there for their grand opening, 5605 Hampton Avenue. They are officially now open, and I want you to get in there. Like today, I definitely feel like I need to be stretched, and this would work hand in hand with who we're going to talk about with in just a second. So if you've never been professionally stretched before, I highly recommend that you get in. In fact, they have two locations. They have the St. Louis Hills location, and then you could also go to Arnold because it's inside of Exist Fitness. You're going to be seeing so much from our friends at Exist. Trisha Rhodes, who is right there, the stretch therapist, she's going to tell you all about how she can help transform your life. There's me getting stretched, and yes, those hamstrings are tight and my back, and that's not how it should be. So welcome aboard Exist Stretch, Exist Fitness. We are so excited to have you as part of the Real Monica Adams Show. All right, everybody. So weather-wise, is it affecting your knees and your joints and how you feel? Angi Hess and I both say yes. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have some issues today because we're talking about storms, scattered storms. We saw them overnight. You might see them kind of continuing into this morning. 70 degrees today, down to 63 tonight. By the way, happy Passover. 63 as we get into the Cardinals game today. Strong storms, unfortunately, affected tomorrow. 79 and then 62 for a low tonight. Windy conditions as well. We get into Friday, Good Friday, by the way. Rain and storms continuing. We get into Saturday, and the rain will be heavier in the morning. It's actually only going to be 63 degrees, so it's going to be dropping down big time. 38 for a low, unfortunately, Saturday night. As you get into Easter, and maybe you have early morning church, you better bundle up. If you have those kiddos getting all of their Easter eggs, doing the Easter egg hunt, maybe the dogs. Well, I forgot about that. We haven't taken the dogs on an Easter egg hunt for a while. It is going to be chilly, and the high on Sunday for Easter is only going to be 58 degrees, down into the 30s again Sunday night. Now, we're not talking frost conditions, but it will be in the 30s. And then it's nice to see no rain until the following Friday, and that's a slight chance anyway. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, expect that to be in the mid to upper 60s. We get into Thursday of next week, 75. Beautiful day on Thursday of next week. And then on Friday, again, very slight chance of rain and a high of 71. So we kick things off for you with a look at the weather, and then we're going to get into some news you can use. We're going to talk about making sure that your eyes are okay when it comes to you taking GLP-1s, and then we get into some wellness talk. But before we do all of that, let me welcome on our friend. You haven't seen her in a while, Angi Hess. She is the owner of Spas and More. Hello, my friend.
Good morning, Monica. How are you?
Good. Can you tell us who's barking in the background?
That would be Biscuit, my little 2-year-old beagle. So
I laughed because I could see Angie moving like, shh. And I was like, nope, it happens on a regular basis. Tessa does it. Adelaide does it. Opus will howl. So let them go. Let them be real. It's all about real talk, right? How have you been? We haven't seen you in a while.
I have been super busy. It's been a very long month with all of our shows and everything going on. I really haven't stopped since, or had a break since March 1st. So
It's a good thing and a bad thing, right? We try to look at the balance of life and taking care of ourselves, but then you're looking at business going, well, great, go, go, go.
Oh, exactly. And I'm so excited about Exist Fitness or Exist Stretch for you. Exist Fitness is my gym in Arnold. So
Are you
I have
serious?
never tried the Stretch part. So I think I might have to do that because,
You
like you, I'm hurting pretty bad.
You absolutely, yeah, let's get into that. So Angie and I mentioned this, and I'm glad she talked about the weather aspect because I didn't even think about that. That's probably exactly why I'm feeling as bad as I did. Angie knows this about me. If you watch the show, you probably know it about me. It is very rare I ever take any kind of medicine. I woke up this morning, felt very nauseous from how bad my People keep saying, wait a minute, did you just have a concussion? No, this is carried over from about 4 years ago. And no matter what we do, I've gone to chiropractor, I've done acupuncture, I do massage, I stretch. It's still, you're never right after an accident. You know that, right? It's unfortunate. But then it gets aggravated by the weather. So you and I felt a little off today, but we're powering through, which was my show the other day.
Right.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're go go go. What do you think? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, for me, I'm kind of used to it. I've dealt with my health conditions since 2012, and at that point in time, being divorced single mom with younger kids, I had to power through. So I've always just been that way.
Yeah.
It's just another day for me, to be honest.
Right. And we sit there and think, well, hey, who's going to do it if we're not doing it? We
Right.
have to sometimes delegate. Are you all there with us? Are we talking to you? That mindset of, if I don't do it, it's not going to get done right. Again, got to ease ourselves though. I did tell Angie, I said, look, Jim was in just a couple of weeks ago and took some great video. By the way, thank you, honey, for doing this. And he was so impressed. This was actually around one of the many shows that Spas and More was doing. And he's like, wow. Look at how you have all this set up. It looks incredible. We're talking about wonderful hot tubs for you, saunas as well as the cold plunge. So whatever you're looking for, we want you to get in and support our wonderful friends at Spas and More. If you haven't been in yet, by the way, or if you're outside of our area and you're like, oh, where's this place? At Spas and More STL on social media, spasandmorestl.com. And as you can see, they're located on Gravois Road. It's 12957 Gravois Road in Sunset Hills. So yeah, they're open 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday. If you haven't been into the showroom, please go in there. They're closed on Sunday. I just mentioned one of many shows. You're not slowing down. When is the next show coming up for you?
So we have this weekend often for Easter.
Good.
So everybody gets to spend time with their family. So next weekend, April 10th through the 12th, is the St. Charles Home Show. We're always been a part of that. We've been a proud sponsor of the home show going on for 20 years now.
Yep.
So we are under a big white tent that's outside. Everybody can see us. We usually have about 20 or more spas and swim spas there, everything ready for immediate delivery and purchase. So we're looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be a fairly nice weekend. This time I don't have to put the sides of the tent up and propane heaters out for April. So
I
I'm
was gonna
excited about
say,
that.
how long does it take you to set up for one of those?
I mean, our crew has got it down to a pretty good science. They'll start Thursday morning, and pretty much by the time 3 o'clock rolls around, they'll have everything set and in place, the water in the tubs, and then they'll just do some final touch ups Friday before we open at 10 a.m.
You have no idea, guys. When you go, I mean, we went to support Angie at the Home and Garden Show, and I was like, they have almost everything here. They've emptied out the showroom. And that's all I kept thinking was, God, you guys put in a lot of work to put these shows on. So you should be commended, because when people come up to you to see all these, you still have a big smile on your face. Like, yep, here we are, even though we've been here for 48 hours putting all this up. It's crazy what you guys go through. So anyway, all right, once again, so if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Angie with Spas and More, St. Charles Convention Center, April 10th through the 12th. Again, if you want to head out, it's the 21st Annual Builders St. Charles Home Show. Free admission and parking, and Friday and Saturday 10 to 7, and then Sunday 10 to 5. So we wanted to tell you about that. And then also, I've been gushing about my favorite spa, or my favorite hot tub, again, which I showed you over and over again. I love this one. It's whether or not you want to get what goes up and down, which I think is so futuristic that I love. It's the Corvana.
The Covana, yep.
Covana.
Yep.
Covana. So that's an extra piece. It doesn't come with that particular tub, but it's a piece that you can get, and then you can look at which one you say you think is best for your family. But they're going to lead you through that, because I think that's one of the things I've heard from people, Angie, is how do I even know which one is right for us?
Yeah, so part of our process when anybody comes into the store is we really want to get to know you. We're not there to sell you a hot tub.
Yeah.
We're actually there to get to know you and to answer your questions. Whether you buy from us or not, I mean, we're not upset if you don't, and if you do, that's wonderful. We want you to be educated. We don't want you to feel like you're in a high pressure sales tactic or anything like that. So my approach is always what brings you here? Are you looking for something like good family time? Are you in pain? Do we need something that's therapeutic? So I can kind of help guide what would be best for, what they're looking for. But then also we can talk about, their price concerns and everything like that if they're on a budget or anything. Because we do have something that meets everybody's needs and everybody's budgets for the most part. I mean, obviously, we're higher range as far as our products are concerned. So we don't have the $3,000 tubs,
Right.
but we have something that, should benefit just about anybody.
Well, look, again, as you can see, Angie Hess, Spas and More owner, is the beginning of our show. We've got a lot on this Wellness Wednesday. This is a good point to bring up, though. This is no matter what in life, you get what you pay for. You buy something that's more inexpensive, it's going to be breaking down. What's let's just use shelf life of it all. So, yes, you are getting a remarkable tub or sauna or cold plunge. That's what, again, they're very proud to put their name behind that. We talked about master spas. Now, before we wrap up, you and I were talking about a new line. So let's run through some of these. There's multiple ones. Tell us about this.
So Master Spot has introduced the Living Healthy line last year and had only brought out 2 models. This year we have brought out a total of 5 models. This is for the person who is looking for just the basic. They don't need all the LED lights. They don't need all of the bells and whistles. So it is a nice basic acrylic tub. It comes in a 5 foot, a 6 foot, and a 7 foot model. The nice thing about it is the 5 foot and the 6 foot models are convertible. So you can have them as a 110 plug and play, or you can have them as 220. The benefits of having that is not everybody has enough space in their breaker box to run a 50 amp hot tub, so they can use it as a plug and play and plug it into an outlet,
Really?
which makes it a little bit more affordable for some people.
Yeah.
So it's a very brand new line. It's it has our patented mineral system in it. You can get it with a lounger or without a lounger.
Okay.
That's what the different models are. This one also comes salt ready. So there are a lot of people who are interested in a saltwater hot tub versus like our patented mineral system.
Yeah.
So this is one of those units that you could actually put a salt system in if you wanted to convert it. Say you have a salt pool and you just like to have a salt system. So it's something that we can do with these tubs as well. And they're very economically priced for the units that they come, and they have a 2-year warranty.
Huh.
But it's just a great addition, and it kind of bridges the gap to those people who want an acrylic hot tub,
Yeah.
but really don't want to spend, $13,000-$14,000 for an acrylic hot tub.
Yeah. So you said they're more inexpensive. What's the range?
So they're going to be right around the $7,000 to $8,000 range.
Wow. And I was going through the different models as Angie was mentioning. There's an S6. There is also a L6. And
Mhm.
then is this more like 6 and 7 foot? Is that right?
Yes, so the
I'm so
S6
smart,
is
Ange.
is the seat version, 6 foot. The L is the lounger version,
Ah,
6 foot.
okay.
Same thing for the 7 foot. You have the L7 and the S7, and then the L5, which is a nice little three-seater
Right there. Yeah.
with a little lounge and 2 seats. It's very similar to our Getaway line, which is our Rotomold line, but it gives you that nice acrylic feel and the pretty shiny acrylic.
Shiny. We all like shiny things. Well, I love that. So that's just something that you can go in and say, hey, I heard this when Monica and Angie were talking. I'm interested in that. So, yes, when you're looking at where you're going to put it, Angie came over, did some measurements for us, kind of guided you on, well, you could do it here. It's probably better here. So be thinking about those things. Well, I'm so excited that, again, you are as busy as you are, but I also want you to slow down and take care of you. Because you matter, my friend.
Yes, this is a 3-day weekend for me, and believe me, my recliner is calling my name.
Good. Well, you got to take care of you. That's what we stress. So one more time, if you have not been in, please go in, check it out. Again, just walk around the showroom and bring your family along, get the kiddos involved. Maybe this is something that you're like, hey, let's go over for Easter. Maybe the kids have been thinking that this would be something for them as well. So Spas and More. Once again, if you have not been in, it is Again, Spas and More, STL.com, where you can go online, check out more of the models at Spas and More STL. It's where you can follow them on social media. Otherwise, get into that showroom in Sunset Hills, 12957 Gravois Road, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Closed again on Sunday, or head out and maybe go to see them this weekend if you're looking for something to do. April 10th through the 12th, sorry, not this weekend, next weekend, April 10th through the 12th, St. Charles Convention Center, the 21st Annual Builders St. Charles Home Show. All right, my friend. Well, it's so good to see you again. I've missed you. And again, we've been working on Jim for a while. After how he saw me wake up this morning, I think we may have got him finally saying, I get it.
Well, it's
Angie and I
about time, Jim.
what'd you say?
I said it's about time, Jim.
Jim, I think, Angie and I both said this. Until you truly understand what someone's going through and how they're feeling, you have to witness that. And today he witnessed just how unbelievably messed up I felt. And he was like, okay, I get it. It's not a luxury. It's all about wellness. It's about the quality of your life. That's my whole thing about these hot tubs. So thank you, my friend.
You're welcome. You have a great day and happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you. We'll talk to you next week. And to all of you, don't go anywhere. If you are thinking about going on a GLP-1, get an eye exam before. Why is that? I'll let you know.
What if you could start your day feeling loose, relaxed, and ready? Deep Hydrotherapy, right in your backyard. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition Swim Spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms. Spas and More, A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the ah in spa.
Welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show on this Wellness Wednesday. In the last 3.5 years, we've talked a lot about weight loss and GLP-1, but we've never approached this subject, and this has to do with your eyes. We're going to talk with Jackie Bowen. She was elected to the AOA Board of Trustees in 2016 and elected president of the American Optometric Association in June of 2025. And as president, she serves on the AOA Executive Committee and Advocacy Roundtable Committee and is a past president of the Colorado Association. There, she's been recognized with the Colorado Optometrist of the Year Award, Vision Monday's Most Influential Women in Optical, a graduate of Southern California College of Optometry at Marshall Ketchum University, and completed a residency in ocular disease at Omni Eye Specialist in Denver. She's provided eye care to the community for more than 30 years and remains active in organized optometry. So yes, I talk about weight loss, but what is the correlation with the eyes? Well, let's find out. First of all, let's introduce our guest. Again, Jackie or Jacqueline, how would you like me to introduce you?
Jackie is good, thank you.
Okay, good. And it'll be an easy one for me because Jackie is my mother's name. But this is an interesting spelling I've never seen before. Hers is Jacque. I love the extra I in there.
Yep, you can thank my mother for that one.
As we talk about eyes today. So let's discuss this. So GLP-1s, first of all, explain to people that don't know what a GLP-1 is, and then we're going to tie in the eye aspect.
Sure. GLP-1 inhibitors are a class of medications that you've heard about for years with diabetes. Ozempic and Wegovy and Mounjaro, all those have been taken by patients for a long time. Mm-hmm. When the effects of weight loss have been recognized and amplified in our country, we've seen a doubling of people taking these medications in the last couple of years. So 12% of Americans either take it now or have taken one in the past. Mm-hmm. So naturally, the more people you have taking a medication, the more outcomes and side effects we're going to see occurring. In the eye world, we've seen an uptick in some rare but significant effects in the optic nerve and on the retina that we're just trying to make sure people know is something to be aware of.
And so, Jackie, so if people are going in right now and they're meeting with doctors and they're talking about possibly getting on a GLP-1, you want them to go and have an eye exam before they would ever start that. Is that correct?
Right. There's a lot of testing that's done, or a certain amount of testing and awareness that thyroid issues, gastrointestinal issues may come up. And now we're sending the message that having a baseline comprehensive eye exam is a great idea because of these eye health issues that are showing up. So if you've
So
not
what?
had an eye exam with
Go
your
ahead.
optometrist within the last year prior to being prescribed, we encourage you to get that done within a month or two of starting the medication.
And then once they've started, should they be going in again just to make sure that nothing has popped up? And if so, what kind of time frame would that be?
As a general rule, whether you're taking these medications or not, we recommend getting your eyes examined annually or every 2 years, depending on your situation and the recommendations of your optometrist. But these medications, again, the risk is small, but if it's you having it, it's pretty significant. So the baseline exam will include not just assessment of your vision and your glasses and contact lenses, but also a thorough assessment of things that you're not aware of. We can identify risks in the anatomy of the optic nerve as we view that and image that, and also the deep, highly magnified layers of the central retina are going to tell us if a person, particularly with diabetes, or with an increased risk of wet macular degeneration, we're going to be able to tell if that is something that we need to be on more high alert for. But an annual exam is generally what's recommended when a person is taking any medication in addition to vision outcome reasons.
And Jackie, what would be alarming? What would they be looking for that may pop up once they're on these? And maybe I should ask, if they're on them for a significant amount of time, is there more of a caution that we should be looking at?
We don't have a specific correlation for the duration of taking the medication. The issue across the board, whether you're diabetic or not, that we've seen double is ischemic optic neuropathy. So that means there's a reduction in the blood supply or a cutoff of the blood supply to the optic nerve, and that makes your vision go bad. So a person might suddenly or gradually lose quality of vision, blurring, colors might not be as vivid, or sometimes it's just a feeling of something is not right, something is off. And we're used to hearing that from patients. It's sometimes often hard to detect what it is you're experiencing. So if a patient says, I'm just not quite seeing right, if we are armed with the knowledge of all their medications, we can go through that diagnosis and management process much more smoothly. So an exam will identify risk factors, and more likely, we'll be able to say, everything's good. Hope you have a good experience on this medication, but it's worth checking out.
Does it matter the GLP-1 that they're on?
Not in particular. We haven't identified any that carry a higher risk than others.
And again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Jackie Bowen, the president of the American Optometric Association. We're not doing this to be alarming, but I do want it to be an awareness. As you mentioned, it could be more rare, but it's not to say that it is not a possibility, which is why she's stressing that you go and have the exam. As far as the risk factors, are there more? Is someone more at risk than another?
Sure. Some people have a certain anatomy to their optic nerve, which your doctor can detect, that puts you at a higher risk for that. And as I said, diabetics who already have some diabetic retinopathy or wet macular degeneration concerns, those folks are certainly more at risk. And very likely they are already in a pattern, a good pattern of behavior of having their eyes examined on a regular basis. But in the general population, there are certain things that you're at higher risk for, or you're not, but it doesn't mean you ignore it completely if you don't consider yourself to be at risk. I'm not at high risk for breast cancer. I don't have a family history, but I still get a mammogram every year because I want to know if that's showing up, and I want to know it early if it's going to.
Absolutely. So, if someone is dismissing, they're hearing this today, which is why we're doing this show, and they're like, oh, well, I'm on a GLP-1, or I have a friend or a family member, and they've actually kind of mentioned some things. Are we talking about blurred vision? Are we talking about pain? What are the things to be aware of? And is there something that would be so alarming that you would say, well, I would say for this, go to an emergency room or an urgent care immediately?
Loss of vision is probably the most emergent thing. Most optometrists and ophthalmologists have 24/7 on-call access. So certainly if it's an eye problem, you want to call your optometrist first. And we will then help direct you to more specialized care if that's necessary.
Again, this is for us to, bring to the table, because a lot of you have been asking about weight loss. You're hearing about injections, you're hearing about new pills that are out there, and just wanting, I think the biggest thing that we always tell you until we talked about the eye side is to make sure that you're doing that with someone who has your best care at mind, that you're not trying to find something on the internet and you're injecting yourself and there's no, I mean, that's the scary thing. I still can't believe people do that, but that's the scary thing of it all. And then you hear about some of the side effects, but I have not heard the eye one, which is why when this came across to me, it was something that I wanted to definitely get out there. From this, besides us doing this interview, is it something that people don't really know about, and that we're trying to get that message out a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're grateful opportunities like this interview to educate people. And again, it's not an alarm. It's not a scary thing. It's just we are learning more as we go along. And the more we know, the more we're going to learn. So it's just another tool in the box to add. If you are conscientious about your healthcare enough to want to reduce your weight, this is kind of a no-brainer. Just eye exams are not difficult. They're not expensive. And a lot of information can be gathered, and you might learn something that you had no idea about.
Absolutely. And then for people that want more information, there's a great website, by the way. It's aoa.org. I'm going to actually drop a comment in for you so that you can click on a link where it talks about GLP-1 medications and your vision, an article that was written back in February, what you should know about protecting your eye health. After this interview, if there's anything else that they would want to know a little bit more in depth, and right now they're like, okay, wait a minute, I at least want to be, we're armed with this information, which is what this is all about. Is there any other place that you would want them to go for that?
If you want to email president@aoa.org, that's going to get right to us, and we'll be able to answer individual questions through that email.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you. I'm so glad we were able to do this today because, again, it's another step in something that we've covered a lot on Medical Mondays and Wellness Wednesday over the last 3.5 years. But again, this one we haven't touched on. So, Jackie, thank you so much. And again, as I mentioned, if you all want to look in the comment section, we will drop in for you this article. And then again, for you to just bring awareness as well as to go and, as she said, it's a very simple thing to do, to go and get that eye exam. Don't dismiss it. That's probably the biggest thing that we can tell you. Jackie, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Monica. Have a good day.
All right, everybody, don't go anywhere. More of the Real Monica Adams Show to come.
Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with the Real Monica Adams Show. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@therealmonicaadams.com.
Welcome back. All right. Hopefully you learned something from that. And again, Jackie, thank you so much for taking some time and doing the interview with us the other day. If you have any topic, any guest that you would like for me to have on the show, I ask you this all the time, shoot me a message. Again, I want this to be a show that you can't wait to wake up to each and every day. On these Wellness Wednesdays, sometimes it's you and me together only. Sometimes we bring guests on. We've already had 2 powerful guests in the first, 30 minutes of the show. We're now going to get a little bit more casual and talk about some news you can use. We'll talk about some sports, what's happening today. We mentioned that Easter is right around the corner, but also we want to remember all faiths, all religions. In fact, we have our Testament Tuesday. And what does that mean? I want to make sure that youth groups, pastors, priests, spirituality, faith, it's all covered. We just had our Testament Tuesday. And if you're not familiar with it, we just started it just a few weeks ago, and it's messages of hope, which we need more and more in our lives, right? Testament Tuesday, by the way, is brought to you by Childress Legal Nurse Consulting. So be looking for this. Actually, Bridget will be back on with us next Tuesday, and she's actually going to bring a guest on with his own testimony, which, by the way, is a very powerful one. So Bridget, welcome to the team. We love you. Legal Nurse Consulting. Let Bridget and her team make sense of the chaos of those medical records, childresslnc.com. And she'll be back on, as I mentioned, on the 7th. We're actually going to talk about patients' rights and HIPAA. So a lot to be discussed. I haven't had a chance to say good morning to each and every one of you. So kind of one fell swoop for all of you that have said good morning. Zach, they are just gushing over everything that you've done. So if you are just tuning in, you can see a fresh new look to the show. I'm just so proud of him. He's been working behind the scenes. Thank you also to my friend Todd Michaels, who is in Las Vegas. You'll probably hear more and more about Todd coming up this year. The two of them sat down and, Todd used to work with me at WIL, so he had a really good feel for what he wanted to see in the show from the look of it all. But I want to know from you, topics, energy, things that we're doing, what you want more of, maybe things you might want less of. Zach said, thank you. Happy to have Exist as our title sponsor. If you didn't hear about that, you'll hear much more. Babs, yep, I know you're so thrilled about that. Kira, how are you? I'm not sure if Kira's still on. Good morning to you. And she was saying good morning to Ange as well. All right, Julie, you said your dad just moved and you need Angie to help them decide what they need. All right, are they looking for a sauna, for a hot tub, for a cold plunge? Is dad doing cold plunge? That would be cool. Julie, I'll absolutely get you hooked up with Ange, or just stop in. Have you been into the showroom yet? If not, be sure to get in there. To all of you that are saying good morning, again, thank you for tuning in. All right, let's go through some news you can use. And I want to start off with this one. Can we just say thank you to our incredible first responders? This Webster Groves officer pulled a man from a burning car on Interstate 44 after the vehicle rolled over following a rear-end collision. Yeah, dash cam video actually from the cruiser from the police officer showed patrolman Alex Edgar rescuing a trapped driver on the night of March 18th. The man escaped with only minor injuries. But imagine if that officer wasn't there. In fact, the officer said, I can't say I was thinking a whole lot in the moment other than just run up there. It was just first nature to do it. That is why we keep talking about how they are incredible heroes. He's a second-year patrolman, by the way, and responded to the scene on eastbound 44 just past Elm on the 18th of March. The car rolled over after rear-ending another vehicle on the interstate. He said the guy who was also involved in the accident crossed the highway, told him someone was trapped in the vehicle. At that point, he ran over and did what he had to do to get him out. There's a video that's incredible, and you can see that the officer tried breaking the sunroof to get the man out. That didn't work, but he noticed the sunroof was already cracked open. There was a gap, actually, about a foot wide. The man that was trapped inside wasn't a very large man, so he decided he was just going to pull him out. He said it was a tight squeeze and uncomfortable for the guy, but it was better than burning alive. Again, he walked through the dash cam video from that night. He said, as soon as I beat on the glass, the guy yelled. He said, I think I startled him. He didn't know what was going on. He gave his arm to the officer, pulled him, was able to squeeze him out. Edgar said he knew he had to act quickly before something much worse could happen. A rock music station was playing in Edgar's patrol car at the time of the rescue. And here's, I just get chills from this. The song included the lyrics. Are you ready for it, folks? I have head-to-toe chills right now. The lyrics, save me. Okay, come on. That is my favorite story of the day. So when we give you news you can use, it's those kind of things. You know I'm a big fan of first responders. I hope you all are, because again, we've had a lot that's gone on in our world. We had a lot that's gone on in our St. Louis area, and there were people that just completely hated on police officers. But this is when you want them. This is when you need them, right? Please thank an officer today for the incredible work that they do. Here's my baby right here by my side all the time, my wonderful lieutenant. I don't care if it's a police officer, if it is that dispatcher. I don't care if it's a fireman, a paramedic. So many levels of those first responders. Don't you love that story? Come on, tell me that you all got chills. Just write the word chills across the comment section. That is my absolute favorite story of the day. All right, the other, Romeo and Juliet, is returning to St. Louis Shakespeare Festival coming up in September. They're partnering with the St. Louis from a art museum standpoint. So you're going to see these incredible puppets all around before you get a chance to see them coming up in September. So if you've been a fan of this in the past, you will be very excited that it is making a return. So if you're looking for plans to do as we start to see summer get ready to wrap up and we're going into September, you'll get a chance to see them. I know it's always very popular. All right, let me just kind of run through some things that are happening in our world, all right? So we're getting you caught up up, if you're just tuning in, on the stories that everyone's talking about. And then we're going to talk about the wellness side in our final 15 minutes of the show when we are neglecting ourselves. So you don't want to miss that. So let's go through some national and global and right here at home news that you can use, because staying informed help us stay empowered. Again, I don't want to give you all the negativity of the world. I do want you to be aware. It's all about awareness. So we're going to start with a major developing story. There are new signals that the United States could be stepping back from the conflict with Iran that we've been talking about for the while now. President Donald Trump expected to address the nation with reports suggesting a possible de-escalation in the coming weeks. And now markets are already reacting. Stocks are up. Oil prices are starting to fall. Experts say we are not out of the woods just yet. And I've seen some stories over the last 48 hours talking about mortgage rates going up. It's good timing because Dot Fleshman, our real estate executive extraordinaire, will be on with us this Friday. And I started to see that the housing prices were kind of staying where they are, maybe going up a little bit, that maybe buying of homes may have stuttered a little bit. Well, she's going to tell us all about that. And maybe this is some good news that maybe this is going to start to correct itself again. Here's where it gets even more interesting, though. Okay, there are discussions about the U.S. potentially reevaluating its role in NATO, which could have a massive impact on global alliances. So, while we're seeing a little bit of relief in the markets, there's still a lot of uncertainty ahead. So globally, the ripple effects of that conflict are still being felt everywhere. We're talking about major disruptions to oil supply, concerns about shortage in Europe and Asia, continued tensions in key shipping routes like the Strait of Hormuz. This could turn into one of the most significant energy challenges that we have seen in years. So beyond that, we're also seeing tragic developments. Deadly migrant incidents overseas, environmental concerns like oil spill disputes adding to global instability. And so while those global stories may feel really far away, and so when we talk about what's going on in our world and what we need to be aware of, I think you need awareness of that. That absolutely connects us back to our everyday lives, from what we pay at the pump to the cost of goods. What have you been frustrated with? Let me ask you this question. What have you felt the biggest strife? Has it been at the pump? Has it been at the grocery store? What's hit you the most? Because those are the things that make me then say, hey, let's go a little bit deeper into this when it comes to stories that I want to have on the show. What do you feel hit by the most? Okay, let's bring it closer to home. Here in St. Louis, the focus continues to be on community safety, economic growth, the development of our area, right? We're seeing ongoing efforts to reduce crime, support neighborhoods, invest in the future of our city of St. Louis. That includes small businesses. We're all about small business, helping small business, including small businesses continuing to grow and rebuild. Education, also a big topic right now. Conversations about funding, safety, making sure our students have the support that they need. And of course, let's talk about the weather. Spring definitely making itself known. Did you get any sleep overnight, by the way? Tessa ran, I'll talk about the fact that I put a reel out. Hopefully you saw that. If not, check my social media. You can see what Tessa went through with her procedure the other day. She's doing much better. We went from the cone of shame to this cute little bonnet. She still wants it off of her ears. But she ran into the closet like probably many of your pets, or the kiddos getting a little scared. It's not going to end anytime soon. We're in spring, right? So we're going to see temperature swings, the potential for storms. As we saw last night, we're going to see some strong storms again tomorrow. If you missed the beginning of the show, that's what we talked about weather-wise. Make sure you're staying weather aware this week. We're going to keep you abreast of all of that. Let's give you a little positive kicker here. A story that gives us all something to look forward to. NASA preparing to send the astronauts around the moon again for the first time in over 50 years. Did you see that? I did that show, the story, by the way, yesterday. Artemis 2, bringing us one step closer to a new era of space exploration. And we actually showed you the team. Hopefully you saw that. So whether it's happening across the world, across the country, right here in our own backyard, it all matters because it all impacts how we live. It all impacts how we work and how we connect with each other. So I always want to make sure that you are up to date on all of that. And then we also like to do our local sports and what's happening in our National Day of calendar. So the Cards are in action, by the way, against the Mets. The game is actually this afternoon at 12:15 here in St. Louis. And then the Blues are in action. They're actually on the road against the LA Kings. That's going to be a late game, not as late as some of them, but as you can see, we've got the puck dropping at 8 o'clock tonight. The Blues and the Ducks in Anaheim on Friday, and the Blues in Colorado against the Avalanche. So they're on the road through Easter. Now, speaking of Easter, don't forget that we are also looking at other aspects of, as we said, faith and religion. Passover begins today. Also, National Tomfooleries Day, which we all know as April Fools, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. It is also Child Help National Day of Hope. Take Down Tobacco National Day of Action. I love it. I don't know if you want to quit cold turkey. Sometimes it doesn't happen for people. Other times it's exactly what they need. So come on, break that nasty habit. National Walking Day. Let's get out there because the storms are away. National Sourdough Bread Day. I love me some sourdough bread. And, it's funny, National 1 Cent Day. But a lot of people can't find them anymore because it's not in circulation. It's crazy, but that's also always been on this particular day. All right, let's see. Rose, we need to share more feel-good stories. Yes. Snow and freezing rain in Minnesota Thursday. Snow and freezing rain, Stephanie, that's crazy. Rose, food and gas. I have men to feed. My men all use transportation in their jobs, and the food pantries are very busy. Talk to a lady who runs 2 from the church. I'm blessed, but many people are not. That's what Rose is feeling with what we're talking about that's going on in our world. Yeah, you weigh in. I want to know from you, what do you feel that pinch on your wallet, in your purse? What do you feel that is hitting you the most? All right, we're going to take our final break. We're going to talk about neglecting yourself, and it is not a good thing. Again, I say this to a lot of people, and they always are like, but Monica, I got to take care of this person and that person. And if I put myself first, I know it seems very egotistical. It's not. I say this all the time. How can you take care of anyone else if you're not taking care of yourself first and foremost? What do you think about that comment? So, neglecting yourself. How many levels of people does it affect when you don't take care of numero uno? Let's discuss that when we return.
I was just on the Real Monica Adams show, and it was really a good experience for me. When I walked in, the building is just peaceful. The environment is beautiful here. Monica really made me feel welcome.
The Monica Adams show allows people to be themselves. It's really important to share kindness, to be real, to offer stories and things that will give people hope and a reason to smile.
Rather than waking up aggravated, disappointed, and wondering, where's this earth going, choose to wake up with something that'll put your mind and your heart in the right direction. Start with Monica.
And that's how you find us. And as you look at this, we've actually added more and more platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, as well as LinkedIn and Rumble. And then we added Twitch. Is there a platform that we're not on that you would like for us to be on? And here's the thing, no matter where you watch us, always also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, I say the word subscribe. For me, it sounds like you're paying something. You don't. You just make sure that you click to follow, subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when we go on. But the most important reason is so that you can go back and look at the library of shows that we've done. In 3+ years, there's well over 750 shows. So if you love today's show, you can go back and go, I'd love to know who else Monica interviewed or impacted us. Go back to some of those incredible one-on-ones that we did when we started the show in March of 2023. It was just you and me and my notebook and me asking, what topics do you want me to cover? I loaded them up month by month, and it all came from your mouth. And I'm going to ask you that again because I always, at least once a week, am home with you, bringing you into my home as you brought me into yours. So load me up with topics. Let me know what you would like to see on future shows. Okay, we're talking about neglecting yourself. And that is something that is not only affecting you, it is going to affect every relationship you have. It's going to pull down how you operate at work. It is going to affect your children, your parents, your relationships with your friends. And so I'm going to ask you here, this is my life coaching hat that I'm going to pull on right now. And remember, we can help you physically, mentally, spiritually, as a personal trainer, as a life coach. And then I'm very big into faith, and we're going to do our testimonial, our devotional coming up here in just a second. So physically, mentally, spiritually, let's help you. I just had a lady reach out the other day asking if I could help her daughter coming back from college. Sometimes it's business coaching. Other times it's very personal, faith-based. People feel a little bit lost from their connection that they had in their faith. you let us know. info@therealmonicaadams.com. I want to help you one-on-one, but when we are doing this together, what I want you to pull from it is, do you feel lost? Do you feel unbelievably exhausted? Do you feel that your plate is overflowing or your cup has runneth over? Can you just do me a favor and say, yes, that's me. I feel that way. Monica, you are hitting home with me right now. Again, many times a lot of you have to run off to work. And if you do that, again, take this and do a little hashtag replay. Let me know when you watched later and say, hey, I'm so sorry I didn't get a chance to interact with you. By the way, let me say this. If you are watching us on my personal Facebook page, unfortunately, those comments don't come into me live. And so I end up, commenting to you after the show. So if you are commenting right now, I'm not getting a chance to see it. Come on over to my business page, which is that Monica Adams page. Monica Adams Quentin is my personal page. If you're watching on that, be sure to come to the Monica Adams page so I can see your comments coming in live. Stephanie said, my sister aged herself when she took care of our mom. My cousin also is a caregiver for my aunt and uncle. Well, you know what? It's almost as if you tossed the ball in the air so I could knock it out of the park. Let me tell you about caregiving. I don't know if you had a chance to watch our show, which is again the reason why you want to go to the library of shows. Right now it's there on Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. Well, at least Facebook. Instagram goes away. If you're watching on Instagram right now, those shows end as soon as the show wraps up, unfortunately. But the library of shows again on Facebook. If you did not get a chance to see our show just the other day with Garden View Care Centers, please go back and watch that. It was such a powerful show with Mary Ann Meyer, gardenviewcares.com. And my mother, as many of you know, was there after she left the hospital, breaking her femur. She was at Big Mercy through... She broke her femur actually on the 19th, had surgery on the 20th of January, and then was there through the 23rd. And then it was all about where do we transition her? And we chose this beautiful place that you drive up to. And once you walk in the doors, you just feel at home. You feel welcomed by the staff. That was our experience. And I looked through the Google reviews, and that is exactly what so many others have said. Their experience about the activities that are there, their experience about the type of care that exists, their experience about whether they're there for skilled nursing, they're there for rehab, they're there to live their best life. They make sure that they are not stuck in their rooms. They make sure that they come out and they are interacting with others. They're making friends. They're maybe tending to that garden. They're tending to themselves, and they are interacting with an incredible team that truly cares about them. So welcome aboard, Garden View. We love having you. They are just another, I don't say just, they are another one of our incredible sponsors. So if you didn't see that show, it's okay. You can go back and watch it. More importantly, as I understand, 3 of you immediately reached out to Garden View and said, Monica's gushing over you. I would like for you to take care of my family member. 3 locations: Chesterfield, 1025 Chesterfield Point Parkway, O'Fallon, Missouri, the original 700 Garden Path, and Doherty Ferry, 13612 Big Bend Road in the Valley Park area. Did you get a chance to see that show? I had a woman who I haven't talked to in probably over 20 years reach out, and she said, Monica, in fact, I want to read this to you, because this is a powerful testimony. She talked about watching the show and how she thought it was a God wink. Again, I always feel that whatever we're saying, that I hope that we are impacting your life. And if not, if it's somebody that you pass this show along to, that we are able to impact their life. That's why we always ask you to please share and like and follow the live stream. So this is the text message that came to me. Your show was a huge God wink. As I was watching in that morning, my 90-year-old dad was preparing for surgery on his broken femur. She said, I talked to Marianne, the woman that we just had on, and she said, is your dad? You don't need to say the name. Is this your dad? I just got paperwork from Mercy. She approved him. And then she said, I called my sister to tell her she ranked them number 1. She's touring there now. Your glowing praises affirmed their decision. So she's in Florida coming home, and she should be back now. She said, it's not fun dealing with from afar. And she said, Monica, with unbelievable gratitude. And she's like, I believe that you had them on just at the right time for me to hear that. And then I understand that there were 2 other people that immediately reached out. Because again, You never know when that time's going to come for yourself, for your child, for your parent, for a dear friend. Garden View Care Center. Let them take care of you. Rose said, your show brings hope, Monica. You remind us that we're all in this together. You know, we did that Rosetto effect. That was the Testament Tuesday we talked about from Bridget. And she talked about community in one area of Pennsylvania back in the 50s, how heart disease went down. And it had nothing to do with anything else besides each other lifting each other up. And that's why it starts with us. I keep talking about the importance of putting you first. And we drive this home so many times on this show. I cannot say it enough how important it is. You are so valued. You are so important, but so many times you put yourself on the back burner. And then you go 20 hours a day. You get 4 hours of sleep. It's never going to work. Stephanie said, I agree with you. You get 5 hours of sleep if you're lucky. You can't keep doing that day in and day out and think that this is going to work or the body's going to work properly or that you're going to continue to have your faith where you want it to be. It's not going to happen. If you don't put yourself first, something's going to happen to you. Then what happens? If you are the caregiver, how is that person going to be cared for? If you are the matriarch or the patriarch of the family, how are they all going to be able to be taken care of when suddenly mom's down, dad's down? And I mean this, when it comes to stress, you understand stress is going to mount and it's going to get you sick. And I'm not talking about the sick that I have, this nasally sound that I have that I can't wait. You know, maybe I had a little stress in my life. Who knows? And it pulled me down and got me sick from an immune standpoint. I'm talking about long-term stressors that lead to cancer and other horrible ailments. If you don't think it's going to happen, folks, I hate this, but watch. That's all I have to say. If you're not preventative, if you don't take hold of it right now, it's going to happen to you. And that is not to be an alarmist. It is to be a realist. And I am the eternal optimist, but at this point, I just got to lay it all out there for you. Rose says, I have many friends and friends' family members who have cancer or deaths in the family. I try to be a friend and just listen to them with their sorrow and their worries. Be there for people, even if it's uncomfortable. What do I always tell you? The most incredible rewards in life come from the most uncomfortable walk. So our message of today is, again, take care of you. Your cup is runneth over. Again, I said, am I talking directly to you? Yes. Right now, if you feel that this message is to you, it's because it is. But it's also the fact that we are all in this together. And at some point, even if we're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm on top of the world, I don't feel any of that, it's coming. Because life is literally like this, and it's not all puppies and rainbows, as we always say. We wish it would be. We got the rainbows after the storm, but we're going to be in the eye of the storm sometimes. So you got to take care of you. All right, let me tell you about some really incredible things coming up. I can't wait for this. Barrel House. Have you been there yet? It is the coolest place. We took Jim's son and our daughter-in-law. They had such an incredible time. BarrelHouseSTL.com. Go to that website. You're going to love it. 14748 Clayton Road in Baldwin. If you've never been, it's okay, because we're going to showcase. They're open Wednesday through Friday, so they open back up today, 4 to 9, Saturday 1 to 9, Sunday 12 to 6, and you can follow them at Barrel House STL. What are they all about? Well, let me just do a little walkthrough for you. When you come in the doors, it's very inviting. I mean, it feels like you're actually at your own home, and there's those beautiful pictures on the wall celebrating and thanking our veterans. They have live music there on a regular basis. They have incredible food. And then if you have anybody that you know that's a bourbon fan, they are a rye fan, they're a whiskey fan, this is the place for them. If you're looking for a really cool, maybe birthday or anniversary gift, it'll tickle the ivories. If you are looking for a wonderful gift, maybe you get a gift card. There's Stephen and Denise. They are the owners of Barrel House. See, isn't that neat? Just sit there and relax like you're living in your own living room. But then as you step back, you see all the barrels in the background. You get a chance to go through and you taste small aspects that they pull directly out of the barrels, and then you're writing down, you're taking these tasting notes, and then at the end you come back and are like, all right, I like this one, I like this one, and I like that one, and then you make your own blend. You pick your own bottle, you pick your own label, you literally name your own whiskey, rye blend, your bourbon blend. All right, so we're going to take you through all of that. That's coming up on May 11th. We're going to be there at noon. It's on a day that they are closed, and we're going to take you through and show you the entire place. These are things that we call mobile Monicas, and when we tell you, it's really run the gamut. We have been at restaurants. We have been at boutiques. We have been at farmers markets. we can come to you, taking the show on the road and bringing our thousands and thousands of viewers to you from all the different platforms. Mobile Monica, that's what we call it. It's the live on location show. So that's May 11th. May 5th, we're going to be at Oak and Front. And in fact, I'm going to introduce you to the owners of Oak and Front. If you've never been, they're in Washington, Missouri, which by the way is one of the most beautiful areas. Some of you haven't been there in a while, so, reintroduce yourself, or some of you maybe have never been there. May 5th, we are going to be at Oak and Front. And then coming up tomorrow in the afternoon, we're going to be shooting a really incredible piece with Midwest Thermography. Can't wait to sit down at her house. So April was just with us a few weeks ago. Hopefully you saw that show. Again, this is the reason why I keep talking about being sure to go to our library of shows. I don't know if you know about thermography. If you don't, I want you to understand that you have a choice when it comes to your health. And if you don't want to have a mammogram, know that you can have thermography, you can have ultrasounds. The thermography part is what we're going to be talking about. So Zach and I are going to go. We're going to shoot a really beautiful piece. He's going to edit that up for you, and we're going to walk you through everything. And when I talk about thermography, I'm not just talking about taking care of the breast. I'm talking about head to toe and the things that will pop up that they can see, again, being preventative. Don't put these things off. And if you are scared by the radiation of mammograms, ladies or gentlemen, you want to take care of your health, kids as well, everybody. Thermography, Midwest Thermography. They're located, by the way, in the town and country area. So that's coming up. We're going to shoot that tomorrow. So you're going to see really two cool pieces. So sometimes they're live mobile Monicas. Sometimes they are really beautiful edited pieces that Zach and my team do. Excuse me. So Midwest Thermography will be one of those. And then Divine Longevity and Wellness. If you're all waiting to see me on that unbelievably cool red light therapy bike, that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. And then again, let us know. Is there a location where you would like for us to come and do a mobile Monica? I reward you, by the way, $100 is what I give to you or your kids or anybody. If you have someone that books a mobile Monica with us, you have someone that becomes a sponsor, I give you $100 cold hard cash. By the way, I gave $100 to the Venmo of my dear friend who cuts my hair. And she wrote and she's like, what the heck are you doing? She's like, this is what friends do. And I said, I don't care. Whether it's a friend, it's a family member, it is one of my viewers who are also family and friends, I am rewarding you. So that is why we want to know, where do you want us to go? Shoot me that message, info@therealmonicaadams.com. All right, before we do our devotional, once again, thank you. I have the beginning of this is Yuppie Puppy Pet Spa. We can't wait to be back with Jessica Cook. It'll be a week from tomorrow when we bring our positive talk time back. I know you've missed her. JG Optimal Wellness, Jenny Gabriel, is back on with us next Monday. Spas and More, you just heard from Defiance Ridge Vineyards. We're not there tonight. We'll be there next Wednesday. Tonight at 4 o'clock, I should say this afternoon, be sure to tune in and watch Michelle and myself as we make Mai Tais on our Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. Also, thank you to Dot Fleshman Realty, who's back on with us this Friday. Bridget Childress, legal nurse consultant. You'll see her next Tuesday with us. Garden View Care Center, welcome aboard. We're so thrilled to have you. And then, as we told you at the very beginning, Exist Stretch and Exist Fitness. We are super thrilled to have them, not just in a small way, but in a massive way, because again, they are now our title sponsor. So you'll be hearing about fitness and stretching and all over health for our wellness. Exist Stretch, St. Louis Hills, now officially open. ExistStretch.com, at Exist Stretch on social media. By the way, I'm just going to do this before we end. This is what it looked like. And we were just there, by the way, the other day. Hopefully you had a chance to see our grand opening show with them. That's what it looked like before. And it's been this really, truly incredible transformation. And Zach, thank you for putting this together, because I always love for you to see that vision. This is what it started as. And then they thought, how do we transform that into a beautiful space that will be warm and welcoming to you? Because some people have maybe gone and had a professional stretch before, but they felt like it was, I don't know, very cold, or maybe very office looking, or maybe very doctor office looking. They took this and transformed it into, let me move forward, this. It said coming soon. Now, of course, it's open, going through all that, turning it in, painting it, the beautiful colors that I love, by the way, the black, the orange, and then making it feel like a place that you belonged. And that is where we went the other day, opening the doors to this. And I really, truly love the homage to our first responders that are on the wall. So this was before they opened their doors, but as I said, they are now officially open. And if you haven't been in the doors just yet, I highly recommend that you get in and know what is waiting for you, because now they are open. St. Louis Hills, 5605 Hampton. Welcome aboard Exist Stretch and Exist Fitness. Thank you so much for being a part of the show in a major way, our official title sponsor. So many good things coming to this show. It's been a lot of hard work over the last 3 years, and we have each and every one of you to thank for the incredible success, and we're not stopping anytime soon. All right, let me end with our devotional. So Divine Inspirations, shout out to Marietta Divine. We love her. Support her, by the way. She has the Girl of Prayer, and there's a lot that she has built in her own empire, and not stopping anytime soon. All right, we're going to go through cards. We're going to stop right here. This is what God wants us to hear today. I was stressed about the storm. That's interesting. I was stressed about the storm until I saw the flower that grew in the rain. Even in chaos, beauty is being born. Well, that's a really good one, because we had storms overnight, and we have storms, strong ones, by the way, coming for you tomorrow. Tomorrow. The sun will come out tomorrow at some point past the storms. 4 o'clock this afternoon, I'm going to see you with Michelle. We're going to make some Mai Tais for you, and we're going to talk about her recent trip, speaking of storms, to Hawaii. They've gone through a lot, but again, this too shall pass. We always talk about that. So happy for you. Way to go. Julie, thank you. Let me get you hooked up, by the way, so that Angie can take care of your daddy. Shoot me a message, and I'll make sure that you get in touch. All right? Tomorrow, you and I together on the Thursday. Friday, it is Dot Fleshman back with us as we talk about what does the housing market look like, what are the mortgage rates, etc. As well, Monday, we will be with Jenny Gabriel with JG Optimal Wellness, and she takes care of all of your menopause needs as well as your overall health and wellness. So you'll want to tune into that. Body composition in menopause. It's not just about the weight. That is our discussion on Monday. Michelle says, woohoo, Mai Tai time. Michelle, if you're just tuning in, you missed all the hard work that we're going to show you right now as we wrap up. From now till tomorrow, God bless you all. Thank you for being a part of the show. And remember to be kind. 4 o'clock this afternoon, if you can join us with some Mai Tais, we would love it. If not, I'll see you at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Be kind, God bless, and enjoy this.
The Real Monica Adams Show is brought to you by Exist Stretch. Stop by for your free consultation and 30-minute introductory stretch today.